And girls, and I said this last week, that for the most part in DARE, we're going to talk about two drugs, alcohol and marijuana or cigarette smoking. Does anybody know why we're going to focus in on those two drugs?
Times have changed, and so has education in our schools. At one time, there was very limited information on drugs and alcohol. But since the two are so prevalent in our society, a greater emphasis is placed on education. Welcome to Hughes Elementary School in Utica. Today, the 6th grade class is wrapping up its lesson with Utica DARE officer Anthony Alacqua. Drug alcohol resistance education is fairly new to this area. It's been part of the curriculum for students in Utica for 2 years now. However, the program itself has been around since 1983. Today, these youngsters are being taught the consequences of drugs and alcohol. Alacqua will spend the next hour engaging in dialogue with students, and he'll answer any question they have about drugs.
There is a 17-week program. They have 16 weeks of lessons, and then the final week is culmination. It's going to be their graduation. And during the 16 weeks, they're not only learning about drugs, but they're learning basically life skills. They're learning about how to build self-esteem, how to deal with pressure and peer pressure, stress, consequences, which was the lesson that we did today. Consequences of choosing to use and choosing not to use alcohol and marijuana or cigarettes, which are considered the gateway drugs. We also talk about ways to say no. There's like 8 ways we teach them to say no, and we role play to each of those ways. In several of the lessons, we do some role playing, and the kids just love to role play. We also talk about support groups, building a support group, getting involved in extracurricular activities. Next week's lesson, we have a high school role model student who's an honor student academically as well as athletically, and they come in and teach the class. They talk to the kids about drugs, if there's any in the schools. They also talk about what life is like in junior high and senior high. The second year into DARE, we've reached a number of schools. We've reached 7 public and 2 parochial schools. We are in the process of training another police officer in the DARE program, so that in the future we would be able to be in every school, public and parochial, at the elementary level.
Consequences for using alcohol. You would get liver damage. Is that good or bad? Bad. Bad. You would get drunk. Good or bad? Bad. Bad. You would get into an accident. Good or bad? Bad. Bad.
Not only does the DARE program educate children about the dangers of drugs, it breaks down the barriers that exist between the general public and law enforcement. Alacqua says when the kids first meet him, they're a little reluctant to ask questions and become involved, but after a few weeks, everybody's comfortable.
They realize that I'm not here to arrest them or any member of their family, that I am here to help them and be their friend. And now my 2nd year into the schools, the kids know me from the 1st year, and they're very warm, very receptive.
In Utica, some 500 students graduated from the DARE program in its 1st year. This year, some 250 students will have completed the course. And now there's talk of UPD adding a 2nd officer for DARE education. As it stands now, Alacqua is it, and he tries to get to as many schools as possible.
When I'm not teaching in the classroom, I might interact with the kids in the hallway, have lunch with them, play on the playground with them. We're not only there as the police officer, but we're there for whatever they need us to be there for.
Some of the students look at Alacqua as a father figure, others a brother, and so forth. There's a special relationship between the students and the DARE instructor. These kids are better prepared for the ills of society when they graduate. They're informed and well-adjusted.
We learn about marijuana, alcohol, and what the consequences are, and what we should do with them and what we shouldn't do with them. We've gotten a lot of good information. We've talked about stressors, stress, pressure and peer pressure, ways to say no. We role play, like how if it happened in a real situation, what to do.
Boys and girls, the consequences for not using alcohol and not using marijuana, all the consequences are good. Gateway drugs, the drugs that people start using first. The drugs that you're going to be pressured to use when you go to junior high and senior high. Now, I didn't give you the consequences. The teacher, Mr. Hill, didn't give you the consequences. You didn't take them out of a book. Where did these consequences come from? Whose? Ours. Yours. You gave these answers. You gave the consequences for using and choosing not to use.
In the November 1991 issue of Kiplinger's Personal Finance magazine, A.G. Edwards was the only investment firm in the country to earn a 5-star rating. It could be said that A.G. Edwards' clients had been benefiting from 5-star service ever since our founding over 104 years ago. If you're not completely satisfied with CD and investment returns, call A.G. Edwards and see if a 5-star firm can help you.
A.G. Edwards & Sons, 1508 Genesee Street, Utica. Member SIPC.
Hi, I'm Kathy Contino. I'm here with Mickey Mouse and Marie Osmond, inviting you to watch the annual Children's Miracle Network Telethon live from Disneyland. You'll see stories of real-life heroes, kids who beat impossible odds. So join us May 30th and 31st and help hospitalized kids in your area. Remember, right here on WUTR, and 100% of the money donated goes to St. Luke's Memorial Hospital. Children's Miracle Network. With your help, we can work wonders.
A weekday evening in Utica, cool temperatures, and just an hour before the sun goes down. Members of the department's Special Investigations Unit prepared to roll out the red carpet for a visitor, and not just your everyday visitor. We're talking about a suspected drug dealer from New York City on his way to Utica with 22 pounds of marijuana. Our vantage point is a motel room behind a North Utica restaurant. Already waiting in a car behind the restaurant is an undercover narcotics investigator and an informant. The undercover investigator is wearing a wiretap so that the conversation can be taped back in the motel room. SIU members arrive about an hour ahead of schedule to make sure everybody's in position and to ensure that the recording equipment works.
131, VPA, 131.
Just a few minutes before 7, it's showtime. The man of the hour arrives in a blue minivan, not the 4-door sedan police had been looking for. The suspect drives over to the informant car. He proceeds to tell the undercover officer, who's posing as a buyer, that he would like to make the deal elsewhere. He suggests the North Utica Shopping Center.
Which Burger King? Which Burger King?
He's gonna go, right? And I'll tell you those guys get the burger. Teddy, move to Burger King. Which one?
Burger King in North Utica. Burger King in North Utica.
Teddy, Burger King in North Utica. The blue van is pulling out now. You can see him, right, Paulie?
Our crew, along with SIU personnel, quickly pack up our gear and prepare to leave en route for the North Utica Shopping Center. This makes things a little more complicated since the shopping center is usually crowded with people this time of the day. Nevertheless, there's no time to waste.
There he is, right here. Go get him. Yeah, come on. Go get him. Go get him, guys. Go get him.
By the time we arrive at the scene, the suspect is already in custody. And as you might imagine, he's surprised to see our camera. The suspect is quickly taken back to headquarters for questioning. He didn't put up a fight, and nobody was hurt. A successful drug arrest, free of turmoil. And inside this amplifier case is where the marijuana is stored. Drug distribution comes in many different disguises. This is just one.
He's got the bit to take the screws off. He gave it to us. I'm going to put this back in and we'll take our new van.
Back at SIU headquarters, investigators make sure they have the right stuff. The back of the case is taken off, and the grass is covered with 2 garbage bags. Inside the case are static sheets to keep the trail of dope-sniffing dogs away. There is 22 pounds of grass in here, an estimated street value of $6,000 a pound. And once it's ground up and distributed, this represents a dent in the world of narcotics in Utica. But it's marijuana that won't be making its way to the streets tonight.
$33,750 worth.
That it was? 33?
$33,750. It's all good stuff, too.
Yeah,
It's nice fresh. Compressed.
A lot better than the other one we bought.
Yeah.
Homegrown?
Probably, but it's good.
Jesus Christ, you just made good.
Here, Mike, this bud's for you.
Right, I'm going to play off of you. What I'm going to do is I'll be west of you as soon as I see you near the area. That's what I'll pull out. I don't want to give them any indication with this vehicle.
We're moving. You want us to stay stationary?
Negative, go ahead.
Okay. Keep going.
House here with a white porch sticking out the flat roof.
Keep going. It's 822. Keep going.
It's on your left.
Right there, the white porch sticking out.
It's white porch right on the other side of the pole.
Okay. So if you
Right in here.
Yeah, right in here.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Ready? This door right here.
Right there.
Keeping up with crack houses in Utica is like keeping money in parking meters on Genesee Street. Just as fast as you put your money in one, another expires. Investigators attribute this to the influx of New York City traffic. They come to Utica to make a quick buck. They operate out of low-income houses where the tenants are paid a modest fee for the use of the house as a buy and sell distribution point.
It's a smoking pipe coming to use to smoke crack.
As far as I know, as far as I have known, there has been no drugs honestly sold out of this house, as far as I know. Okay.
Never.
No, not as far as I know. Okay. I've been up to my mother's out of town. You're welcome to call her. Okay. Her name is Kathy. She lives in Port Lyde, New York. I've been up there.
How long have you been up there?
Let's see, I just came back, what was it, on the 31st.
31st of March?
Yes.
No drugs have been sold in this apartment since the 31st of
No,
March?
not that I know of.
That you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Well, I beg to differ with you at this point.
Well, not that I know of, no. I'm not saying that I'm here all the time or whatever, because I do go to bingo. I mean, I do go visit friends or whatever. As far, no, I don't do drugs and I do not sell drugs. I mean, I'd rather keep my kids.
Right.
You know, my kids are all that I have, and vice versa. I'm all that they have, and I'm not willing to give my children up for anybody. I mean, I know you're doing your job, you know, and I can understand that. But I mean, it just scared me the way, you know, things happen. Because like this is the only time I've ever seen anything like this was on TV. I mean, I understand you're doing your job, but you know, I do not sell drugs.
You don't have
sir.
any knowledge of anyone selling drugs in this apartment?
No.
Police have already purchased drugs from the house. They're acting on information that more activity is coming from the dwelling. Inside are a mother, her 2 children, and a friend.
Are you saying that pipe is not yours, you don't have any?
No, I'm definitely saying that pipe is not mine, and I have nothing to do with that pipe. And I've honestly never seen it before.
You know, if we have that pipe analyzed, more than likely we're going to find residue of cocaine in there. You can be charged with that.
Well,
are you aware of that?
The way it looks I'm quite sure that you will.
Right.
I mean, no, I've never.
You don't have any idea?
Here's another show and tell game we're gonna play, okay? What are these?
You have any idea what those are? Before either?
What are these? What are these little baggies? What do you use those for?
Look, I don't use anything for anything
But they're
at all.
found in your house.
You've seen these before. They're just like the ones you put in a tree out in the backyard, remember?
No, I
Little
don't.
plastic bags that are used for packaging cocaine.
I've never touched those or anything. I don't even know. I have no idea where those are, especially that at all.
Michelle, let me put it this way.
I'm not playing games with you, sir.
You're not being very cooperative with us, right? And
I'm being cooperative
you
as
can
far
be
as I
charged with
know.
both of these, the bags and the pipe.
There's
It's up to
nothing
you.
in my house. No one has been in my house selling anything. It's exactly as far as I know.
How'd these get here?
As of the 1st of April, no one sold any drugs in this apartment, am I correct?
I know. I said I came back on the 31st of March.
Right, and as of 1st of
I
April.
was out of town at my mother's house.
The woman's husband is already in jail on drug charges. Police have been here before. And the woman appears to be telling the truth. Police decide to cut her a break this time. She's charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance. And instead of having to go to jail tonight, she's written an appearance ticket instead. But is warned not to succumb to the pressures of potential dealers who want to use this house for a distribution center.
This here is an enclosed porch. It's got glass windows on it. There's a doorway here. Okay, we have every reason to believe that those doors should be unlocked, but they may not be.
On the same night, just a few hours later, SIU members will raid 2 potential crack houses in the city's Cornhill section. This one's a little more complicated. Investigators and tactical members are briefed on the entry of each house. Each man will have an assignment. Our crew will be with the entry men, the first in the door.
Okay, guys, just real quick. Second floor. Secure! Second floor, second floor! Keep your hands up on your head. Keep your hands.
Meanwhile, an entry is made on the other side. It's already in progress. SIU has also enlisted the help of Herkimer County Sheriff Daniel Reardon and his dope-sniffing dogs, Doc and Tank.
Yeah. Come here, check here. Check. Hunt dope. Come on, right here. No, I'll leave that one. Check. Come on. Go.
The dogs curiously sniff around for possible drugs in the house, but come up with nothing. A small amount of what is believed to be crack is found. Police will have to have it tested at the lab. In addition to that, some unusual homemade weapons are discovered.
Made a piece of flexible wire down here and a hard object. Probably a large ball bearing up here. Used to strike.
The weapons are confiscated and the crack is taken for lab analysis. The tenants are warned not to play host to drug dealers or they'll be back.
I had to in case the patient had seizures or something. I had a couple of them to smack me and stuff.
Well,
you can take them.
How about that? We're going to take them.
Yeah.
How about that homemade blackjack you got back there?
I always had that. When I walked the street at night,
Where'd you get that?
I made that.
You made that yourself?
That's out of boats. And
Out of
screws
bolts?
and tapes.
Yeah, you did a nice job.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's also illegal.
That's illegal?
Yeah, it is. And also, they found one bag of...
No, that's chalk. My son
chalk,
found that outside
You saw
on
they
the
brought it in the
sidewalk
house and brought it
and
to you?
gave it to me. That's right. And it was on me in my pocket. When he came, I told him that's chalk. So you can...
We're going to have it analyzed anyway.
You can do it.
Right. And more than likely, there'll probably be residue in the bag. Right?
Now, I doubt it. That's chalk. I don't know. He
All
found it
chalk,
on the
eh?
ground. Yeah, so...
That sharp, too.
Yeah.
That was in the cushion of that chair.
It was in the car. Always, this is where I sit at. You know what I mean? When he hit that door like that, I didn't know who it was. You know?
I'm going to take all this sort of stuff, and what I'm going to do is you come down to the police station. I'll get a hold of you, and I'll let you know whether or not you can retrieve this, okay?
All right.
What's clear? Clear here. Clear here. Clear? Clear all the way through. Ange?
Yep.
We're in. We're empty in here. All clear.
A second house is raided by SIU. Nobody is home, but the house is secured. And quickly, a box of drug paraphernalia is located in a kitchen cupboard.
Crack pipes. Some screen and short boy. Put them between it. You got some gauze, or cotton, either to clean it or either after they're using to inject it. These metal rods are used to push the crack up further into the pipes. It's a straw.
The apartment's pretty clean too, you know.
They've been working out here. Shouldn't thought about that.
While police are searching the house, the woman who lives here comes home. To say the least, she's shocked to see investigators throughout the house searching.
Okay,
What is your first name, Jane?
Jane, yes.
Jane, yeah. Would you have a seat so you can relax a
Yes,
little
I
bit?
can. What's your name? Oh, no, hold on.
Wait, do you live here all alone, Jane?
Is it you?
Do you?
Yes,
We
I
have
do.
a search warrant. He can search your purse, your person. Can you read English?
Yes, I can read English.
Here, why don't you read this?
Okay.
Take your jacket off, relax a little bit.
A search of the woman's purse turns up a crack cooker. Police will have to check it for residue.
I don't know exactly what this is.
No cooker.
Do you understand what you said there?
Yes, I understand this. I understand that. But I don't understand. I am not selling drugs. I'm sorry. You're wrong.
I'm wrong?
You're wrong.
English is getting better all of a sudden.
You're wrong.
I'll tell you what, if I'm wrong, you're more than likely going to be arrested before the night's over. For me
Okay,
being
then-
wrong, you're going to be arrested.
Can I tell you that I'd rather be arrested because I've never sold drugs in my lifetime.
Never have, huh?
Never
No
have.
one in this house has either.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
The woman insists to police that she doesn't sell drugs, but she makes no bones about using.
It's not. Yes, have I used drugs? Yes. Have I ever sold them? No. Never. They sell drugs, large quantities
Who lives
upstairs.
upstairs?
It fluctuates and it varies. They're Dominicans.
How many?
It varies. It varies.
If this is only a place of usage, what would you have this for?
Gosh, that's not mine.
It's not yours?
No, it's not.
It's your boyfriend's. Right? Which means your boyfriend could have been selling drugs here. All right?
But how would he have done it without me noticing?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
I'm,
What would the
okay,
scale be there?
I'm willing.
Would we find some kind of residue probably on this her blade?
You probably would.
Probably would,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Well, you can be arrested for that.
And after sweating it out, investigators inform her they're not going to take her to jail, but rather write out an appearance ticket. It's what you might call a birthday gift, courtesy of the Utica Police Department.
We're going to issue a parent's ticket for criminal possession of controlled substance in the 7th degree. It's a Class A misdemeanor. Okay? You admitted you used drugs.
Yes, I
You
do.
got a lot of residue. Right? The pipes we obtained.
Maybe not a lot, but so.
I'm going to have Officer Lickens give you a ticket.
Go ahead.
Okay? Is that fair enough? That'd be a birthday present for you.
Yeah.
Be better you going to jail. Otherwise, you'd have to have a $1,000 bail to get out tonight.
Go ahead. Just don't let him anywhere near me without assistance.
No. You're not even going to get near you. You're only going to get a ticket.
Okay, well, you have him write it from over there, please. Is that possible?
If you want your cake and eat it.
you've wondered whether there's one investment firm that can help you with everything from CDs to mutual funds, from tax-free bonds to quality stock ideas, then you've come to the right place. A.G. Edwards. At A.G. Edwards, we offer the right people, the right financial products, and an outstanding level of personal service. A.G. Edwards, the right place for your money.
The fight against crime seems like a never-ending battle. Just as one criminal is locked up, another arrives in town. And just as police shut down one crack house, another springs up. Just as we teach our youth the dangers about drugs and alcohol, others are subjected through peer pressure or just the everyday pressures of life. Make no mistake about it, crime has always been here, only today it's worse. And you don't have to go far to find it. We certainly didn't. Good night, everyone.
This has been a special presentation from WUTR TV, sponsored by A.G. Edwards & Sons and your local Olds Quality Team Dealer.